really is a big problem. I want you guys to have good relationships. I want you guys to make the world a better place, especially men. I want you guys to respect women.
And what do you think that does for you? Like, let's say you're into that fucking rape or that gangbanging shit. What do you think that's gonna do to your mind when you see a girl on the street that you think is attractive?
Go on Instagram and you see a girl, an OnlyFans model, for example. That girl, imagine this, is in the middle of a coliseum.
I was friends with a guy. I still know him till this day. He thought that whatever.
And we're gonna give you 7 tips as to how you can get off of that shit.
If you don't fucking know why, you should stop by now. Oh god.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bros Think Big podcast. This is the show where we talk about the simple and yet complicated ideas of self-improvement. Tune in and join us as we become the best versions of ourselves so you guys can too. Why are we filming this episode about porn? Well, I think everybody, every teenage boy, every middle-aged adult has their story as to how they were introduced to pornography. But nobody actually knew what they were getting into when they began that journey. We're going to explain to you why it's dangerous, and we're going to give you 7 tips as to how you can get off of that shit.
Packed with value.
Absolutely. We're going to get into it. I would like to begin with us saying why it's dangerous in the first place. The reason why this is so toxic is because no fucking 15-year-old, 16-year-old boy is going to be thinking to themselves, oh, why is this a bad thing when they're fucking enjoying it, stroking their shit. Seriously. No, like, it's just like these kids are enjoying it. Their dopamine.
It's a bad thing.
You know, like sitting alone in their room, the door's locked, the room's kind of dim, you're sitting there kind of like your heart's beating, you're fucking touching yourself, watching a video. It's like those types of things, it's like like when we were young, we don't think, oh, it's not that bad. But in the future, when you realize like, okay, you can't even talk to a girl, you can't even look at her in the right way anymore. It's starting to affect the way that you live now.
And sometimes you don't understand where that comes from. You don't understand why you're not able to talk to a girl, why you don't love yourself, why you look at yourself as a shameful person, because it all comes from pornography. People are just mindless about this stuff. And I am personally very passionate about it, and all of us are in this room. That's why we make videos like this. We see and we talk to people about this stuff. I mean, we did a live video, remember? On Instagram.
God.
People were
Holy
just so
shit.
immature about it. They don't take it seriously. And it breaks my heart almost that such a big problem that can lead them down to a darkness that they don't understand where it's coming from, and they're mindless about it. It's sad.
I think that's why it's a big problem. It's because people take it so satirical.
Exactly.
Like, no question about it. Because if people were having serious conversations about this, like we talk about mental health, it would actually help a lot more. I would absolutely argue that. Because no one will, guys, let's have a meeting about pornography. No one will ever have the balls to do that. Because people will take it too satirical.
And I think it should be talked about more, way more comfortable.
That's why we're fucking here.
That's why we're here.
We're fucking here. And that's why you guys are listening.
And if you feel uncomfortable hearing this, I think you should stay on and hear us out. See what we have to say.
These are the
Maybe
conversations
that's why you're
you need to
because
have.
You're probably going through it.
All of these young adults, they don't understand why their self-esteem is fucking diminishing. Well, you said they can't talk to a woman, they can't hold eye contact. They have this unhealthy perception of women that's completely unrealistic, especially when it comes to satisfying partners or whatever. In literally every scenario of life, it all starts with this. That's the reality. So what are we going to touch up on first?
On that concept of false perception, I can speak on my personal story. I want to say gladly share, but I can openly share that has been a problem with me since day one. I have sexualized women. I'm here to say this to the community and to you guys because I think it's important to let people know that this is not just something that we just say. This is something that has personally happened to us and probably to you guys. Maybe not everyone here. I don't think everyone had the same problem that I do. But I look at a woman.
At some point,
I don't necessarily look at her as a toy. That's the analogy you like to put. I've never seen a woman as a toy, but when I see her, I think of sexual desires. And I never really contemplated where this came from because I was raised in such a respectful... Our mom taught us nothing but manners and treating women with nothing but utmost respect. But something in my thoughts always was dark. Here I am. I can gladly share. That was this fucking shit that we're talking about.
Right.
That fucking thing on your phone that just takes 2 buttons to click.
And then all of a sudden, it leads to you being on there for an hour or 2 hours, just trying to find that perfect video.
I've never personally.
And all of a sudden,
Tell me.
I'm saying from experience, like you're trying to find the right video. You're an hour in, you've wasted so much time. Like crazy. The sun's going down, and you're just sitting in your room feeling shameful after you nutted all over your fucking sheets. It's like, at that point, it's like an addiction. Like, I used to, like, during quarantine, remember, like, when we were all locked up in our house, I was a 2-a-dayer, not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Wake up, do it. Before I go to sleep, do it. Maybe even 3 times a day. Like, it's just like, at that point, like, we're innocent. We're innocent, but we don't think it's like a bad thing.
I want to ask you, you said you'd take an hour. Seriously, how does that work? Because I've never experienced that situation. It's like, what do you mean looking for the perfect video? Like,
when you're on Pornhub, you're literally just looking for the right video to get off on.
It takes an hour?
It takes, yeah, people are just on there to watch porn. I used to be that type of guy to just be on there just to watch it because I'm bored.
Oh, fuck.
It's deeper than that. I don't
like
do that.
That's what I'm saying. You want to feel good watching that video that turns you on fully, right? So that's one video. That's just one video a day. Then the second one, and then the third one.
We have to understand, like,
the chain reaction.
The websites like Pornhub or like the other websites, they want us on there for hours. They want us to waste our time. They want to castrate us. They want us to, like, they want us to not be strong men anymore. That's what I truly believe. Like, they just really want us to.
Well, they want to make money.
They want to make money. They want us to be weak. They want us to be pussies, right? Maybe that's why there's a lot of feminine guys too. It's not just because of the plastics and estrogenics, but it's also just because of porn and how it's like you're constantly depleted of your seed. How can you act like a man when your fucking balls are all fucking, there's no semen in there?
Yeah. Yeah. So for starters, that should be the number one thing. The porn industry is a business, and just like any other feels like a successful business, they don't give a fuck about you, and that's the reality. And they don't give a fuck really about the actors either. There are so many cases where a lot of these porn actors have been sexually trafficked and whatever. I mean, I'm not even going to go into, we're going to touch up on later on how everything you're fucking listening to or watching is fake in the first place.
Why don't we fucking top shit now?
Yeah. I'll get into it. Like, but the point is, what is exactly what Fricker said. The industry literally wants you to be addicted. It's the same thing with a bunch of these these sugary ass cereals. They don't give a fuck about your health. They only care about the green that they see and nothing else. Your health or what you're fucking addicted to is what's bringing in their fucking money so that they can feed their families and do whatever fucking fuck all for with their shit. Right. So anything where the industry doesn't care for you. What was that?
Continue.
Anything where we'll cut that out. Anything where the industry doesn't care for your health, you need to steer clear from immediately. Because there's so many studies as to why it's fucking a cancer or whatever else it might be. There's also marketing techniques behind this shit too. There's podcasts. I need to go check out what that is. I'm sorry, guys.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so the industry not even caring about your health is just one thing. Let's go on to the next one. Perception on women. How it's unhealthy.
Yeah, so we're all like, when we're in like teenager years, we're all awkward and stuff like that. Especially watching porn, we're even more awkward. It lowers our self-esteem. We look at girls like a toy, like what I would say. Objects. We use them just to like get off of. We don't really know how to talk to them. We don't know that they're not actually like that in the porn videos. They're not actually. It's all fake. All those porn videos are just fake. It's not real. When you like,
dude, we watched that video of that guy.
What?
What are women then?
What?
Like, what should they be? I think it's porn.
There should be feminine.
Yes, but like you say, we perceive them objects. What's the real? What should we perceive?
Look, they should be your partners, somebody that you love, somebody that you spend your time with, right? Somebody that
treat them like a human.
Exactly, like a human, not somebody to just use, not just you using the girl, but the girl using you as well to get the pleasure out of themselves. I guess I would say.
Yeah, that they're not like what he said. He compared them to like objects. What they actually are fucking humans. Okay, they're not something you just get off to and fuck all. You don't care about anything else. That's the perception that porn actually portrays you against, because that's all you're fucking used to. You're 16 years old. Your brain's not developed. You don't know what you're getting into. So what you see is you just see that you enjoy all this fucking ass and all this other shit that's just getting you off so much. You don't actually think as to why it's a bad thing. You just think of it as an object and something that helps you get off.
And I won't mention the names, but I was friends with a guy. I still know him till this day. He thought that whatever he saw in porn, that's what turned girls on. And they were like, I would say, very dark, right? Like, say, flashing, or even the fact that like he was hard and stuff, that he would think that girls really like that because that's just what he saw in pornography. And that's not just that one guy. There's so many people around the world where when they see something, they take that as an influence, thinking that that's just what turns girls on, or a girl thinking that's what just turns the guy on. And it's sad. It's dirty.
You know what really pisses me off too? It has to do with porn too. When you hear rap, modern day rap, they're talking about girls.
Yeah.
Even on there, that pretty much is porn in itself. Them speaking, oh, she's sucking my dick. Oh, like she's twerking on me. Oh, like these guys are just fucking using these girls as toys.
And there are videos
and then
about that
people, then a 16-year-old in a suburban high school is listening to that in his ears. He's white as fuck. Like, and he doesn't even know how to talk to a girl at that point. That shit is right next to his brain. So no wonder he thinks of girls like that. No wonder he disrespects girls. No wonder he doesn't even know how to be charming or anything like that.
Right.
This is literally the danger of it. Like, even with the music, like I mentioned, these rappers, these things that you listen to, the things that you consume, they really affect how you see the world, how you see women. And, yeah.
Right, and not just listening, but watching the videos too. I mean, 6ix9ine, the rapper, when he releases the music videos, like the content that he produces is girls are literally fucking pouring milk on their heads and stuff, and swimming in a pool of milk, and twerking and shit like that. It's all dirty stuff. That's just what it is.
And the thing is too, it's like I'm gonna read what I wrote down. When you watch dirtier porn, the reason that you do is because you don't get as excited as you did from the last time you watched it. So you try to find more fetish, more darker videos to get you more excited because your dopamine dropped below the baseline. So you need more hardcore fetishes to get off. So as you go down the porn rabbit hole, thankfully I wasn't the type of person to find those like hardcore fetishes, but it's like the more you watch porn, the darker that you'll go down the path of finding things that you get off on.
Exactly. Because your dopamine goes up when you jerk off to one video, right? And then your dopamine went up. Then you find another video that raises your dopamine even more, and then another one and another one. That's why people start with softcore porns, then they go to hardcore porn. And if you actually understand, there's such brutal stuff on pornography, like very bad stuff that is rape, 5 guys on one girl, or like team banging, whatever. It's that kind of stuff. That's true. That's the kind of stuff that people get turned on by. Not just watching it, get turned on. That's what they like. Now going out in the real world and trying to recreate something like that, that's gonna lead down to hell, literal hell.
Yeah.
And what do you think that does for you? Like, let's say you're into that fucking rape or that gangbanging shit. What do you think that's gonna do to your mind when you see a girl on the street that you think is attractive?
Dude,
what is your first instinct gonna go to?
Go back to history, right? Ted Bundy, even just that guy.
Yeah.
Like what he's done.
Yup.
Everything started from pornography, not even videos. Magazine, because back then there was no pornography. So all he had to do was look at magazines and stuff. That's where it came from. We have videos now. Can you imagine how much more powerful
And
it
easy
is?
access too.
Easy access.
Oh
That's
my
even more.
God, yeah.
Like kids, 5 years old even.
The
can go on
iPad, the
phone
sticky
and watch-
iPad kids have
Seriously.
like such easy access to
Yeah.
it.
Dude, when I did judo, there was kids that were like 10, 8. They were literally talking about this stuff. It was mind-blowing to me because the first time I was introduced to it, I was like 16 or something, or like 15, 16. Something like that. And them being like 8, 10, they don't even know what they're doing, and they're watching it. They don't understand what they're what they're seeing, but they know that, I don't know, it brings them, I don't know
No,
what it
but
is.
it's literally one of the most
like
notorious.
scientifically, it's dopamine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the most notorious fucking serial killers, and that's what it did to them. Imagine what it's gonna do to a young person.
And that's why there is rape. That's why there's things like that, because they don't like, in order, like, they go down that big dark rabbit hole of the
They think it's
fetishes. They think it's normal. Okay, this girl wants me to rape her.
Right.
And all of a sudden there's like all these attacks, all these guys who don't know how to control themselves.
Exactly.
It's scary. It's actually so scary.
And then some people use that as an excuse. They're like, oh, this is just my urge. I need to get it off somehow. So they just do it. They think it's normal. Some people even say, oh, yeah, well, I work out so much. I'm a gym rat. I have high testosterone. Somehow I have to get it out. Like, that's some psychopath
cope.
mindset.
It's a psycho.
It's also another
It
thing
is.
that
You're a psychopathic.
another thing that
point.
porn does too is, you know how like a lot of guys are being more feminine nowadays and stuff like that. Porn, a lot of times the girl is more dominant than the man.
That's true. It
Right.
cucks
The
them.
girl
It cucks them.
is after the girl's on top of the guy. The girl's doing everything, and the guy just sits there like a little fucking bitch. You know what I mean? And no wonder, like, guys want girls to dominate them because they're so submissive. They are feminine.
Yeah.
So that's what porn does to people. They like when girls they like when girls does everything to them, and so they sit there like, ooh, like, you know what I mean?
They expect that.
They
She
expect
doesn't
that.
perform that because, well, that's not what It really is. I don't know.
As men, we are dominant. We need to go out there and conquer. That's like girls like personally, girls like when they go out when. Girls like when a guy dominates them. Right, exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. That is how it's supposed to be. And when we're all submissive, when we're all like little feminine, closed up like little girls, it's like no wonder women have to be more masculine. No wonder they have to be these bigger figures. No wonder women don't like men nowadays. It's because men are more submissive. Right. Girls don't want to be masculine.
It's those unrealistic expectations that really fucking kills you. I want to move on to the fake emotions of it. So to all the people that are addicted to porn, what you're watching isn't even fucking real. Right. None of it is. And we've seen, a study on how they use, like, fake toys. They use these fucking products. So, like, for the guy when he needs to ejaculate, it's not even real fucking cum. Like, they sell
pills, too, to get you hard for, like, 2 hours.
Because your dick can't get hard no more?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like, it's fake love. It's fake emotion. Everything about it is fake.
It's also like you're like observing, like you're literally just an observer. You're like a little fucking goblin in the corner of the room watching people fucking make love. That's what a cup is. You're like the guy in the little fucking chair in the corner watching these people watching this dude get the girl that you want. That's the worst part. You're stroking your dick in the corner like a little fucking goblin watching these people make love. And you're just sitting there thinking it's normal.
You think it's love too. It's not actual love, but you think it's love. Yeah. That's even more dangerous. Not to mention, it was, I just had it in my mind. I wanted to, what was it?
No, I'm glad how you mentioned that emotion thing, right? Like, what they show on camera is how girl has to act like they're enjoying it. They have to, even if they're not. We watched this video of this guy. We're gonna drop it in the link in the description. This guy talked about it. They're actors for a reason, and some of them are very, very good actors. They might not enjoy anything that they do, but their facial expressions, the way they even scream and stuff, like this is the truth.
Girls aren't actually like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. That's the false perception. And when you go out and have a girlfriend and have sex with them, the expectation is not going to be there. You know, she might not be as experienced as some of the actors that you're watching. Next thing you know, guys get upset over her and say she's not good enough just because she's not performing as good as the fucking actor who's had 100 dicks in her fucking vagina. That's just true. You know what I mean? And it's sad because then you look at girls as if they're not good enough, even though they're just pure and nothing's wrong with that.
Word for word.
Exactly.
Couldn't say it any better. Yeah. I also want to dive into this Hamza's example.
Oh yeah.
That we were touched up on. So,
do you think we're gonna?
To my knowledge, I found out today that there's actually a difference between softcore and hardcore porn. And supposedly softcore porn is when you, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Instagram models, you find a picture of them.
OnlyFans models posting in a bikini with their ass out, or like they're literally just naked. All they have is a bra on, like on Instagram. That can be that's softcore. And like when we go on Instagram and we see like when you go on Instagram and you're kind of bored, you know what you're looking for on there. You know what you're trying to look for. Like don't try to hide it. Don't try to cope. Like even like I used to do that shit all the time. I used to go on Instagram. Oh, I'm trying to be productive. Oh, let's look at this guy's story. Oh, well, who's this girl? Right. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you lead down a path, and then you end up on the Pornhub websites. But
it's right in front of your eyes.
Exactly.
You can't avoid it.
So if you guys know who Hamza is, he's like a YouTuber, and he kind of does self-improvement. And so what he made a good point was that when you go on Instagram and you see a girl, an OnlyFans model, for example, all those 100,000 likes, maybe even 500,000 likes, and all those comments, it's like that girl, imagine this, is in the middle of a coliseum, and all those guys, strictly guys, they're all in the seats around the coliseum, idolizing this girl, watching her, yeah, drooling on her. They're all like fucking touching themselves, drooling over it, fantasizing about her. Don't be one of those guys. Don't be one of those guys who's like everyone else in the coliseum.
I hope you have a fucking image in your head about how that's you. Because think of it this way, dude. That girl wants all of those men to be doing that shit in the first place. Like I said, this is a fucking industry. This is a business. That's want her to be in that college. That's how they feed their families, whatever. Support themselves. They want you to do this shit. How can that be good for you? Right. Anyway, it's good for you in that 1 second that you release your dopamine is what you think. But it's a cancer. It's literally a fucking cancer. It's a drug.
Right, dude. I've even had I've had sex with people before that it wasn't even love. It wasn't even like really anything. It was just to get off. Really, that's just what it was. And
I love your expression. You have an expression. You're still virgin, right?
Yeah, like I have this like thing. It's like we've never really had sex. We're still virgins, because if you read The Way of the Superior Man, it talks about ejaculating up the spine and having a full body orgasm. I've never had sex before, bro. But anyway,
I'm still a virgin.
What I'm saying is, like, I've even had sex before with people that it's just like it was just to have sex. It wasn't really just to love. It wasn't really just like it wasn't really spiritual. It wasn't really. It was selfish, really. Mm. And I felt empty after. It wasn't even fun at that point. And if you jerk off sometimes, like that post-nut clarity, that shit really hits, and you really just feel empty after that. And if you're sitting there and you just jerked off, you feel ashamed of yourself. The first thing you got to do is kind of forgive yourself and understand why you did it. Why did you do it? And then go from there. And then try to
ask yourself, why do you feel ashamed?
Why do you feel ashamed? And then go from there.
Why do something that makes you feel ashamed?
Exactly. And then what we're going to do for you is give you 7 methods that you could do to get rid of it, that we've all used, at least in some sense.
If you don't fucking know why, you should stop by now. Oh, God.
Yeah. It's really bad for you guys, and we're not just saying this just to say it. It really is a big problem. I want you guys to have good relationships. I want you guys to make the world a better place, especially men. I want you guys to respect women. I want you guys to have good relationships.
We're trying to build a tribe, guys.
Men. I want you guys to be superior men.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We need more of it.
For starters, lust is a really powerful thing. So you need to learn how to use it wisely. It starts through number one, meditation. The reason this is what we put down as number one is because you need to be mindful of your actions. It's the same thing as Fricker just said. Come here. What is it? What was triggers? Can you explain that one to me?
So when we do meditation, the reason we have this as method number 1 is because we need to be more mindful of the triggers and the things that trigger us to watch porn. When you're scrolling on Instagram, when you know what you're looking for. Meditation allows you to be more mindful of your actions, your thoughts, and allows you to reflect. Even with meditation, it's literally breath work. When you meditate, you're literally like, you're building gray matter in your frontal lobe. Your frontal lobe is getting bigger when you meditate. It allows you to understand things and see things for what they are in your head. And so what I also wrote down was breath work too with the meditation. I have 2 methods of breath work that I usually do to kind of get away from be more mindful. Mm-hmm. It's a double inhale. You want me to do it with you guys? It's a double inhale and then a long exhale. So you go.
Oh, I heard about that.
That releases a lot of stress too.
Yeah.
Huberman's.
So that not only this breath work, if you do it a couple times in the morning, at night, it increases your testosterone, but also lets you to be more calm. So it's one long inhale, one sharp one after that. So you breathe in as much as you can, wait a second, and breathe in sharply after that, and then let it out slowly through your mouth.
Wait, how does it increase your testosterone?
I don't know. It's just like Andrew Huberman said it, and Hamza already said it as well. It's a way to, when you're more calm, right? There's more room for testosterone when you're more calm. When your cortisol is up, when you're more alert, testosterone gets lowered. So when you are more calm, testosterone, there's more room for testosterone.
And when you're less stressed because you have less toxins in your body.
Exactly.
I want to speak on that part where you said people are not mindful enough. Like, yes, the breath work is great. I just want to say for the meditation, like, I think people do forget that they didn't just jerk off just because they jerked off. Like, there was something that stemmed it before, and people never even contemplate what it is, what gets them aroused in the first place. Like you said, probably the best example, probably the most common is Instagram. For sure, but for every single person, guys, that if you can't fucking stop watching porn, if you can stop what gets you to get on that app, and again, you can't always control your horniness. You'll get horny no matter what. That's innate.
You'll have desire.
Body. But if you can find what stems from, what first causes it, I'll tell you what, you'll be a lot better off. And that's a fucking fact.
For example, a lot of the time, it was not feeling loved. I didn't feel loved by anything or anyone, and so I'd go on Pornhub thinking, like, this is love, lust is love. I used to be like so confused and stuff. I'd go on there and think that was a thing. But until I did some meditation, I did more reflection, I did more journaling, I did more inner work about myself, I healed from that. And I love myself. And when you have love for yourself, you're more inclined to not watch porn.
Yeah. Number 2 is a mix
That's
of...
just one.
Hold on.
That's just one.
Yeah.
Number 2 we have written down purpose. Now, the reason we wrote down purpose is because when you find your purpose, all of a sudden you become a lot more busy and you become a lot more productive.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're productive with your time, you're not gonna even have a chance to fucking go ahead and try to kill yourself with this bullshit.
The thing is though, like, I don't want to say find your purpose to escape from it. Find purpose because your purpose is bigger than this little thing that you are struggling with. Because let's not try to escape from the problem. Let's try to
face the problem.
Face it, and find something bigger than it. Something that crushes it completely.
Yeah.
So what happened when you found your purpose, Josh?
Oh, yeah, thank you. I was going to share my story. I don't want to just say, find your purpose, guys. Not give you a way how to do it. For me, obviously it's going to vary on everyone. But for me, what worked is I spent 2 days, 2.5 days technically, where I dedicated my gym time. Whatever you do as your kind of escape. I realized that the gym is kind of my escape. Necessarily where I kind of cool down, and that's where I just enjoy myself. Yeah, my checkpoint. So that is for me, and luckily it takes some time. So I spent 2 days where I listened to no music, and I just contemplated every single little thing in my life. And what I mean by that is, why do I go to the gym? Well, there's a deeper answer to that than all of us think. We just, I just want to have a good body. Dude,
why do you want a good body?
It is not just because of that. There is something deeper that you may not be conscious of it, but it's there. And you kind of connect the pieces. What I did is, okay, why am I in college? Why? And then once I kind of realized, I'm not going to really necessarily share my purpose right now, I realized everything's interconnected. And that is for everybody. I can fucking promise you that. Everything you do is interconnected for one simple reason, whether it's from your childhood or something. I figured it out that way. It took 2.5 days. And to answer your question, the day I did figure it out, I'm a pretty jacked dude, but I'm not going to get into that. I did a machine and I broke it. I'm a full believer that when you find your purpose, you're more powerful. That was exactly what I found out.
And he still has it as like a trophy in his room.
I can actually pull it up if you want.
So we'll probably put up a picture or something.
Yeah.
Let's spend time leveling up and not worrying about these little things like porn. Because honestly, like what I've been doing recently is I just forgot about it. I forgot about doing that type of stuff. I just started worrying about leveling up, finding my purpose, working on it, working on myself, and being more busy and productive. And that really allowed me to get away from it, not escape from it, but kind of understand it. It's
There's
little.
something more to it.
It just doesn't control me anymore. Those things do not control me. I control it, I guess, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But finding your purpose is really so important. How you can find your purpose, right, is what do you want? Like Josh said, why do you do things? What do you want and why? Constantly go through that on like a journal. When you go in journal, when you sit down alone with yourself, really spend time alone and figure out what do you actually want and why do you want it, and then just go out and get it.
And is that a valid reason why you want it?
Exactly.
Say like if you're working out and you want to impress people on how you look, is that a valid reason, or should it be more of your health and the way you feel
Well, that's
working
not
out?
valid. What deeper inside you care what others think. I mean, that's all I'm telling you. Everything has a deeper...
Yeah, no, I understand, but then you have to understand, is it valid? Is it enough reason to keep going?
Is it healthy?
Because then it's going to lead you down to a different path just to impress others, but in reality,
Bada bing, bada
it's not
bong.
really what you want.
And I can promise you to everyone that watching porn has nothing to do with your purpose. Get that shit out of there.
Right.
Exactly. You are so much bigger
I've
than
actually heard
that.
someone argue that before.
What the
That
fuck?
it is, I know.
Are you serious?
That's some brain dead shit, bro.
Yeah, that's probably.
Anyways,
You have to find tons of reasons on why, how
They probably
it's
had
fucking
100
awful.
dicks. They probably...
yeah, they're marketing. Anyway, number 3, God and spirituality. I want one of you two to take
Yeah,
this
you
one
two
away.
guys got it.
All right, I'll
All
share
yours.
my story because God personally helped me with overcoming pornography, because I read Bible and I listen to podcasts, lectures, stories of how God has changed people's lives from dark place to a more positive one and helped them through a lot of things. This how it helped me too, because I know that God holds me accountable and wants good stuff for me and doesn't want me to sin. Right? Because sin is bad and jerking off is sin, because what you're doing is you are selfish. You're not thinking to be productive. You're not thinking, okay, how can I do something that is productive, not only going to help me, but will help other people. So me putting in, say, 20 minutes or that 1 hour into a productive work that I know will shape my future into a better thing that will also influence and help other people, would I rather do that or spend 1 hour of being selfish, and all I want to do is, raise my dopamine and make myself feel like, oh my God, I feel good and I feel pleasurable. Like, you have to pick and choose, and sometimes you have to go as deep as, what do you really want out of life? Why are you spending those 1 hour each day? Say, that's going to add up to so many hours of your life doing mindless stuff like that, when you can do so much more for yourself and for other people to make your family proud, instead of being a fucking loser in the bathroom and jerking off that you won't even admit to anybody.
That's a huge
will
thing
never
part of it.
admit
Yeah,
that
dude.
to
You, like,
anybody.
this is some shit you're literally ashamed to fucking admit.
Yeah.
If your mom walked through the door while you're watching porn, you would turn it off immediately.
Right.
Why the fuck is that a good thing?
And you
for
have to live with that for the rest of your life, that your mom knows that you were doing such thing. Mm-hmm. And it makes everything so awkward and shameful and bad.
It's like you jerk off and then you go downstairs to eat with your parents, and like you feel all grimy and shit.
Because
you
know
have
what
like
you did.
you have this like aura of shame.
Right.
When you go downstairs, because energy, spirituality is real. When you feel ashamed, it's the lowest vibration you could possibly feel. And after you nut, you feel so ashamed. I've had a story when I literally felt, I was watching porn, right? It was late at night. Everything's dark in my room. I jerked off, I nutted, whatever. And I wasted so much time. And at the time, I was trying to get closer to God. And after the fact, I was like, God, like I was just crying. I was crying after, because I was like, why do I do this to myself? I was so ashamed of myself. And I said, I literally just I talked to God. I was like, listen, like, I need your help. Please help me with this. I can't do it without you. And the next morning, next couple of days, I didn't really feel as much lust as I did before. Like, it was kind of like wiped away from me. I felt clean. And I definitely feel like getting closer to God, being more spiritual, will allow you to run away from these fleshly desires that we do have.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hold on. There's this.
Go ahead.
There's this, like, I'm in this like Discord group, and they talk about NoFap in there. Like, they talk about a bunch of stuff, but they're really spiritual in there. And I want to read like one of the guys said in there about spirituality and sex and semen and stuff like that. So, fuck you. All right. All right. He said, sex is the foundation of the universe. Without it, nothing can exist. And those who've entered the deeper forces of occultism know the kundalini is the serpent force which lies curled up at the base of the spine. It's really the sex force. The word tantra is Sanskrit and means a continuum of unbroken stream of energy. What the fuck does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was lost. I don't even
Right?
know what a
The
bunch
thing
of
is,
those
though,
words mean.
Like, when it comes to God and spirituality, it goes so much deeper than we think it is. Our bodies, our sex, we can literally create life out of our balls. It's crazy to think about, and we just like to just do it into our pillow, into our sheets, into our fucking hand.
Right.
Shamefully.
It's crazy.
Right? So, when choosing to release and overall in general, we must be conscious of the spiritual aspects when having sex. What kind of energy and consciousness does your partner have when having sex? Are they happy, bitter, sad? The energy and emotion can and will be exchanged. Are they a blessing or a curse? Does your partner love you, or are they draining your life force? Are you recharging, refueling, reheating your spirit? Have you ever slept with a partner and felt like you've been like your negative energy has been extracted? It's because you did. We must be conscious of our actions regardless of how we direct them. Spirituality goes so much deeper than we really think it is. And if you're a beginner in going into self-improvement, spirituality is something that you can really get into. Like, you can learn more about God, maybe purchase a Bible if you want to just read about God. He talks about lust, talks about fleshly desires and stuff like that. So the closer you are spiritually, the more inclined you will to not do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
There's another thing I want to share with how I personally, what forced me to kind of stop doing it, is I paid attention to my actions and I was lying more, right? So I'll get to it why. So if I did something that I was ashamed of, but then somebody asked me, say, why were you in the shower for so long? Or why were you in the room locked in by yourself for so long, right? Then it forces me to lie, right? I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I was jerking off, because it's not something I'm proud of. So now it forces me to lie about something. I don't want to, and you do not want to lie about something, right? Plus, with how I mentioned with God and stuff, it's a sin, and I would not want to sin and tell a lie, because then it leads down to even darker hole, saying you lie once and you get away with it. You do it twice, 3 times. Now it becomes a habit. Now you lie about things and think that you can get away with it, but eventually it has to stop. Somebody's gonna have to understand that you're lying, and it will be revealed, and it feels even worse, right? And like that's another thing. You don't have to do something that's gonna force you into another thing that you don't like, which is lying. Why would you want to do something to yourself that's gonna force you to lying?
Absolutely.
Find God.
Exactly.
Number 4, track your ejaculation. Now, what we mean by this is, everyone, if you've made it up to this video, you know why porn is bad, and you know a couple methods. Your first instinct is going to be, okay, I'm done with porn. I'm never watching it again.
No fap. Let's go.
Yeah,
Never again.
Unfortunately, cold turkey is really never the right approach to any type of solution.
Not for
Because
a long term.
I've
Yeah,
tried it,
it's
guys.
just-
That shit's really difficult.
It's really, really unrealistic. And it's going to take time, because anything that's good and rewarding has to take time.
Right.
So what we mean by tracking your ejaculations, let's say you do it once a day, which is really bad. How about, instead of you deciding, I'm going to cut it off completely, and then in a week you're probably going to succumb back to it.
And you relapse.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, before we get into that, right? I've had moments where if I tried to quit, I tried to cold turkey. You know what? I'm done. Like after I nutted, I'm like, you know what? I'm never doing this again. 3 days later, relapse. A couple days later, relapse. Relapse.
This time it's different though.
This time it's different. Relapse.
You just tell yourself the same fucking thing over.
You tell
and
yourself
over
the
again.
same fucking thing. You wanna get rid of it. You wanna stop doing it.
Yeah,
But you
man,
don't.
You're a loser if you keep losing, bro. God damn.
Yeah, like exactly. Your self-esteem gets lowered. You feel so ashamed. You feel like you're like this little fucking goblin who can't do anything.
Right.
So
And every goal you set for yourself, you fail.
Exactly.
How do you think that's gonna make you feel?
So tracking your ejaculation, this is what I did, right? I did it like, let's say I did it 15 times a month, right? Okay, not that bad, right? But the next month I'm gonna do it 12 times. Just 12 times. We're not going to go from 15 to 5. You know what I mean? It's like too big of a jump. We're not there yet. Take it little steps. And you got to lower your ego. You got to have to be humble in a sense. Like, you're not going to cold turkey it.
Right.
Where you're not like
You're not that good.
You're not that good, bro.
You're not him.
You're not him. And so tracking it at first was really good for me. And I don't really track it anymore. I kind of just forgot about it. Because like once you get lower to like the single digits a month, you kind of just forget. But tracking it, like going down from 30 to 25 the next month, and then next month 20, next month 15. Like understand, like get on your habit tracker, understand how many times you're doing it a month, and just do it less and less, and try to make it like a game almost.
And I bet when you record that shit, you're gonna suck, and you gotta put a fucking red X. Did I not do it today?
Yeah.
Put that red X.
It's like you feel even more ashamed when you you mark it red or you mark it X.
Yeah.
It's dead.
It's not recording. And I was just gonna say it's discipline too. It's not just the fact that you're quitting porn. It's discipline. It's disciplining yourself that you have to go lower and lower. And are you able to achieve that goal? Are you disciplined enough when your tries run out, meaning you have to only do it 5 times and that's it, you reached your limit? Are you disciplined enough to stop, even though you might think, oh yeah, I want to do it one more time? No, that's it. You're done. 5 times. It's the limit.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you guys have to understand that. I may not know your story, and I don't know how long you've been going through this for, but for the majority of people, this is something they were introduced to really, really young. I mean, I know someone that was introduced to it in the 2nd fucking grade. So, 2nd grade.
crazy.
I don't even know what age that is, like fucking 10 or whatever, but it's true, unfortunately. So, this is a habit you've been building up for years. You're not going to just all of a sudden fucking stop because you watched the video about it and you're like, I want to stop. So this habit that I've developed for 5 years is gone. It doesn't work like that. You have to really take your time with it because, like we said, cold turkey is just never the way to go.
Because it's an addiction.
It's exactly.
You can't just like when you smoke cigarettes for 5 years, you're not just gonna cold turkey it. When you've done the same thing over and over for 5 years, let's say, you can't just stop right away. You have to. The grooves in your brain are inclined for you to do that. You have to ungroove them. You have to slowly but surely, like, pave the way and stop doing it.
If anything, you're gonna have worse effect if you cold turkey it. Like say with alcohol, when people are addicted to alcohol and they just cold turkey, they get sick.
The
Then it destroys their body too and their mental health. So you have to go down slowly. You don't want to hurt yourself.
The same fucking thing with these vapors and their Nick sticks. Exactly. How they talk. I can quit whenever. I'm just choosing not to. My fucking ass, bro. The second you decide you want to quit, you're gonna relapse in like a day or two, and then it's just gonna be the same thing. Cause I hear these are the same people. I know someone that vapes. They say that same fucking thing every time.
Yeah, but yet you see the vape in their hand all the time.
And like understand that it's like understanding your weakness when you're not doing it. When you're not doing it less than next month, it's like it's a sign of like weakness, and you have to reflect on that.
Right.
Okay, how can I get stronger? What are the things that stop me from doing it?
Let's move on.
Number 5.
Don't watch porn, or AKA, get it without it. Get it
Number
out.
5?
Get it out without it. I wrote down my 5 is your 6.
Okay.
Or
God
yeah.
Well, what was your number 5?
Self-image.
Okay.
I will do that one then because that's my number 6.
So number 5 is going to be self-image. The way that we look at ourselves, okay, like I'm a person who's trying to not jerk off. And instead of telling yourself that, tell yourself, you know what? I don't even jerk off. I don't do that type of stuff. But the thing is, when we tell ourselves this, our identity, when we have this identity, it's like, okay, I don't do that. The actions are what matters after that. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you say you don't do that, when you say you're stopping or you're quitting, your actions reinforce the identity.
Right.
So, what?
Philosophical Josh moment. All right.
Let's get it.
So, remember yourself 5 years ago? I was 15. You guys are roughly the same age.
I was 14.
You were 14. Oh.
I was 13, dumbass.
Okay. You're looking at him, right? Imagine right now, you're probably laughing at the fucking things he thought he knew and the shit he did. Like, let's be honest. It's some funny shit. Me 5 years ago, the stuff I would do, you can't go back and just laugh at that shit. You can't tell me I'm wrong. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. So imagine you in 5 years. I'm going to be 25. You'll be 24. Imagine how much that person is laughing at you right now, at this moment, because of the actions you take and the things that you think you know. Now, this analogy first applied to you think you know your shit, and 5 years from now, you're going to realize that you're a fucking dumbass 5 years ago.
It's like we cringe at ourselves from the past.
Exactly. And that person that in 5 years, who is that person? Does he jerk off? I'll tell you what, not mine. Not the one I want. Right. Who's that guy you want to be in 5 fucking years? Is he wanking off? Nope. Everything we just said, is he doing that shit? Fuck no, he's not. And that's all portrayed in self-image. Who's that person you want to be? And in our last episode, Mike, you said, I want to be a guy who doesn't jerk off. No. What does a guy that doesn't jerk off do? That's what you want to do. Not be that person. You do the actions that person takes.
Well, it's kind of like the both. You want to be that person who doesn't do it. Yeah. But you also want to take the actions that he does too.
And I want to mention what you said in the last episode and what you just said now. How you got to believe in it. What you mentioned in the last episode, it's a lot of visualizations and affirmations. You really got to tell yourself that you can do this shit. Because it's no secret that words are energy at this point.
And if you don't believe in yourself, then who else does?
That's what I'm saying.
You have to believe in yourself.
You're right. You have to believe in yourself. And this porn addiction is you versus you. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I was addicted to porn, I never told anyone else about shit. Right. And I'm pretty sure everyone else,
you're keeping it so
if they do, they'll go to like an online counselor or whatever. You keep it so secretive.
Right.
Because you're ashamed of it. So this is a really, really big thing, you versus you. So if you can't even believe in it, who else is going to be there for you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were not that type of person.
Mm-hmm. Right. Number 6. Don't watch porn straight up. And how you put it is get it off without. What did you say? Get it off.
No, I said if you're gonna jerk off, at least do it without pornography.
Oh no, you have
to understand the effect of what happens when you combine ejaculation with pornography. That's what we said.
It's like dopamine.
Get it
stacking.
out without. I like that. Exactly. That's the one.
Our imagination is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and if you
we're
feel
not
the urge,
recommending it, but here's the thing:
it will help.
It will help. Absolutely help. Because the problem is porn. It's that fake shit.
Yeah.
The thing is, that influences our mind, and then our imagination is influenced by the porn. So we start imagining in our minds us, you know what I mean, in the porn scene or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your dopamine doesn't go as high, in my opinion, when you jerk off without pornography. because you're more self-aware of what you're doing. I mean, when you got the phone or the computer in front of you, you're watching and you're not really realizing what you're doing, say with your hand or physically what you're doing. But when you're not watching it, I mean, you're gonna really understand what the fuck you're doing.
And I think this applies for the cold turkey analogy the same way. This is like we mentioned, something you develop over 5 years time. So if you're huge into hardcore, how about like for you 15 times a month, whatever example you use, how about 10 of those times will be hardcore, and then you make those 5 softcore.
Or just try your best not to watch porn at all.
In general, of course, but like this is such a challenging addiction, because then again, it's an addiction. So you want to simplify it for yourself as much as possible. So make it
you have no one to talk to about it.
It's true. You have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, people are just lonely, battling it by themselves.
But my point is, the same way that you don't go cold turkey, if you're struggling to cut out the hardcore, try doing a softcore, little bit, until it's going entirely.
Yeah. I also want to mention one extra thing. I liked how you said it in the last episode, I think it was, when you said negative influence.
Negative impacts are always more impactful than the positive ones.
They're more impactful and you tend to remember it so much more. So I would suggest for people to go on YouTube or read articles or do a research on what has this lead to, right? Like look back into history and study those people and where has pornography gotten them? What has happened in their journey? And everybody is willing to share this. I mean, even the influencers stuff, they talk about their addiction and stuff, and they say, all right, you know, I was doing this, and this is how my thoughts were. This is how I looked at women. This is how I acted. All that kind of stuff. And those moments stick in your mind, and then when you're about to do it, you understand what it may lead up to. And that, if that doesn't scare you, I think it should. Because in my mind, when I was doing research about this kind of stuff, it kind of scared me in a positive way. Because this is not who I wanted to be. I didn't want to do things that I heard those people doing to others and hurting themselves. That's not what I want to do. So if that doesn't scare you, maybe you should dive back into understanding yourself more and loving yourself and understanding and reflecting that, you know, you can be a better person than that.
I want to mention, don't you dare fucking look into Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know, that was mine. I think a lot of people affirmed their belief because of Wolf of Wall Street. Wow. I don't know if you recall that scene where it's like, dude, jacking off awesome.
Oh yeah,
it's essential.
Matthew McConaughey when he's in the scene,
he says that. He's like, yeah, I do it all the fucking
brainwashing
time.
Right
he says
there.
it keeps me sharp, it keeps me on the go. I got to do it 3 times a day to keep me on.
Just because you've heard it at a fucking movie does not mean it's fucking true.
What do you mean? It's the Wolf of Wall Street. He's valid. He's credible.
But here's the thing, even that story shows so much. Even the character that what was his real name?
I just know Matthew McConaughey.
The one that one that Leonardo DiCaprio played.
Yeah.
Jordan Belfont.
Jordan
Belfort or something.
Belfort, yeah. Something like that. Even his life was miserable because of what he did. He did drugs, he jacked off, he fucked a bunch of girls. They did fucked up stuff.
It's hedonism.
That's what I'm saying. And it lead them to a dark path. Because they had all the money, they had all the women, but they did not love themselves. They didn't fulfill their lives to having good family, I would say.
That's why he's in jail.
His wife left him. He couldn't see his kid because of what he did. I mean, is that the life that you want to have for the money and for the fun to fuck whores? I don't think so. And you got to think long term, bro.
Mm-hmm. And what you said earlier, you look into history and how it affected people, like what we said with Jordan and Ted Bundy. Do you guys remember the video you sent in the group chat? The one that was 9 years ago with the black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I'm going to put that video in the description.
You mentioned it.
My point
He said it again.
I want to put that in the description. And the same way how Sadula said, look at what it used to do to them. I want you just to watch the first 10 seconds of that video and look at what that did to him.
Right.
Do you remember the first 10 seconds, how he felt so free? He literally just took a fucking fresh breath of air straight up, and he just felt like with the same thing you said. You said something about his aura. Look at the positive impact that had on him, too. That could be you.
That man has like a gravitating aura.
That's what I'm like. Yeah, I thought it was the opposite at first because I was a little uncomfortable. But you said it was just because he was close up to the camera. But you'll see what I mean. Like, I'm serious.
No, this is the kind of things that you feel. You can't lie about that.
I know we said negative impacts are more impactful than the positive ones. That's true. But I want you to just look at what you could be. So that video is going to be in the description, and just watch the first 10 seconds. I personally would recommend watching the whole thing, but for sake of time, just watch the first 10 seconds, and you'll see how that person felt too. That could be you in 5 years.
Exactly.
That could be you in a couple months if you start quitting now.
Yeah.
Right. It's not even about promoting the negativity, but having that negative thought in the back of your mind always. Like, that evil that's there to remind you that this is where it can get you to. The hell that you might be going down to.
Yeah. And I think
keep you sharp, keep you aware of what might happen. That's all.
And I think that guy should be the goal for a lot of people.
Right.
Like how he felt free, no chains, no restrictions, no strings. Yeah. Final one. Active defiance. Make it a game. I think I love this one too because I want to share the story of Duolingo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the app, but Duolingo is essentially an app where you can learn another language. And the reason why they're so sexual, the reason why they're so successful is because they made it a fucking game. There's like streaks with it. There's points. It's like a reward system and everything. And people love that shit because everyone like the fucking life.
It's a video game and learning.
That's what I'm saying. So. Fricker mentioned this beautifully with how did you put it with
Why'd you slap him so hard?
Yeah, he did hit me.
That was not
so
hard.
if you guys know who like David Goggins is, of course we know who David Goggins is, right? But he kind of like represents the active defiance method. When your brain tells you no, when your brain tells you no, let's only do 12 reps. Fuck you, we're gonna do more than that. When it tells you, oh, I'm just gonna run 1 mile, when your goal was 2 miles, you run 3 miles now.
Right.
Your inner bitch.
Yeah, you got.
Dude, I literally do that in the gym. Like, I saw your video and you talked about it. I'm like, dude, that's literally what I do.
Exactly.
With not just the gym, but anything else. When myself tells me that I want to do less just because it's easier, I know this. I realize this because you have to be self-aware when this happens. When your self tells you do 12, it's only because it's easier. Why is it not telling you to do more? Because it's harder. So now you force yourself to do harder things.
Just because your brain complained to you, now we have to do more.
Right.
Just to say fuck you. So when your brain is telling you, oh, go and watch porn. Oh, go on Instagram. Like, let's go look for some chicks, right?
Right.
You say, fuck you. You know what? I'm turning my phone off and throwing it away. Fuck you. I'm not doing that shit.
Do you guys want to know what I do?
Of things too.
What I do is we all know Goku and how he does the like Super Saiyan thing. Like he gets that energy. I picture myself like anytime I'm gonna do a bad habit, or specifically in the gym. I'm on my last set. I see Josh come over one time. I fuck this and I pretend like I'm going Super Saiyan. As corny as it sounds, it fucking works. Yeah. And I'm not gonna change it for nothing because I know it works for me. Like that's
exactly.
When you're really hungry and ambitious for this shit, this is the type of results that you're gonna get from it. So. Like, I think making it a game is actually a great fucking idea because that shit gets me hyped, bro. In the same way, like if I'm on a fucking rep, or let's say, for you guys, this would be the perfect example. You're about to that thought comes urging up behind you, talking about one more video. Whatever the fuck.
Fuck you,
dude. That's why we say gym is literally more than just working out. Mm-hmm. I mean, how can you not apply that to real life when something else happens and you know that you fell short? You are gonna want more, and you're not gonna quit until you get it. Like, so I literally drop dumbbells sometimes, and I'm like, you know what? I could have gotten more. I picked those dumbbells back up, and I hit more.
Yeah.
I want to share.
I don't want to feel the regret. That's what it is.
For Make It a Game, that's actually what worked for me. Out of the 7, that's the one. Not necessarily how you guys interpret Make It a Game. Maybe I'm perceiving it the wrong way, but challenging yourself. Like it's like you versus you kind of way. It's like, am I gonna let my inner bitch win today? Fuck no. I want to fucking win. I don't know. There's a lot of will-powered human beings.
Am I going to be a goblin or am I going to be a warrior?
That's this type of shit that was going through my head.
I've never actually like said my example out loud, so this is a little off topic, but if I'm just at if I'm at a dinner table and I have like an urge coming up, imagine I just said that shit out loud. Imagine I just out loud just go, like out of fucking nowhere. I'd be pretty
fuck you, stay down.
out of nowhere, like you have Tourette's.
You have the thought and you actually portray it in real life.
But it works. And I develop a game in Euro because everyone's a child at heart. We're all a little immature, and that's okay. Use it to your advantage. The same way lust. The same thing with lust. It's powerful. Use it to your advantage. Something else that I wanted, I think that concludes our 7 tips.
Yeah. 7 methods.
What I wanted to do is I found a study online, and we all know that porn is considered an addiction, just like any drug, like heroin. I'm going to put up a picture on the screen right now of what your brain looks like normally, then what your brain looks like on heroin, and then what your brain looks like on porn. And you guys don't know it yet, but on heroin and on porn, they're identical.
The audience knows it.
They know it because they see it. You guys don't. I'll show it to you after, too. They're fucking identical.
Because it's addiction.
It's like brain dead shit.
That's what, like, is that, you really need to sit here and ask yourself.
That's you.
You really need to sit yourself and
That
ask
used to be
yourself,
us,
hey,
bro.
is me getting this nut off worth it for this? For my brain to look like this?
You're nutty.
Do you think the Josh in 5 years would be fucking thinking, oh, this is a great idea?
Apparently not.
It's not
You
the
in
shit out
5
of it.
years thinking this is a great idea? Come on, guys.
Man, I wish I could slap the 15-year-old me.
And I want to be vulnerable again, and I want to say to the audience that I feel like this is one of the biggest problems too that we didn't mention. You are fucking coward. And I will say this about myself too. I was scared. I was scared to take that leap to say I shouldn't do this. And to even do the research of what it does. Because guess what? Then that video or that article would tell me, all right, it's bad. You need to stop doing it. I didn't want to say that to myself because I was scared. Then I knew I had to be self-accountable to take the steps to overcome it. Because you're comfortable. It's your comfortable zone that you're in. Because you feel comfortable around it. You can go there anytime you want. But then as soon as you think in your head and you sit down with yourself, you journal, and you write down what it does to you. What are the things that happens afterwards that you dislike?
Mm-hmm.
Those thoughts, those words really tell you why you shouldn't do it. And you can't get scared about that because that's the kind of thing that gets you through those difficulties that you need to overcome it. It's almost a must. You have to do this. You have to put yourself in the situations where you're fucking scared to face that addiction because it is an addiction. You have to be scared, but that's a good fear. That's the fear that's going to get you through to the success. And then you're going to look back and you're going to be like, I did it because I'm strong. That's going to give you self-esteem.
Fuck it, dude. Throw
wanna-
journaling in with number 1. Right while you're at it.
That goes in with like
Exactly.
meditation.
Go
man.
throw that
goes with
shit 'cause it's the
meditation
same
and
exact
journaling,
thing.
yeah.
I want to give a closing statement. Are
Okay.
we ready? Guys, if you are still watching now, you probably, I think it's about an hour. I can't really tell the time frame. You guys will know.
Probably is.
Now, you'll have 2 options from here now. It's either you come out here wasting an entire fucking hour of your fucking life. Say, you know what, these guys are right, and the next day you relapse, whatever we call relapse. Yeah, right?
It is.
what the word is.
So, you have 2 options. Either you fucking wasted an hour of your life, and nobody wants to ever fucking want to waste an hour, or
They
you
do,
fucking
though.
apply what we just fucking said, and I sure as shit will, we sure as shit will, and you fucking transform into your life. To that person that you want to be in 5 years, not even fucking 5 years, next month. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you want to be. Waste a fucking hour of your life.
Right.
Go ahead. Do it. Do it.
And they can either try it now and at least have the faith that this will improve their addiction, or they can not do it, not listen, not even try to do anything about it, and then in a couple of years, guess what? They're going to have regret. That's the worst thing you can have. They might be like, not just with us, but with anybody that they hear that porn is bad, be like, I should have listened to this guy. Maybe I should have taken their advice. Maybe I should have been more brave enough to face my fears, face my demons, face my problems. That's the regret that's going to eat you up. And not the fact that you have to get up now, think back to your inner self and think, okay, what can I work on? That's not harder than regret. Trust me. And I've been there, and we all have. That's why we're telling you this. Regret is worse than getting up now and taking action. Trust me. I promise you, if you apply one of the steps or the steps that people actually want to give you for better for yourself, I promise you, your life will change in a positive light. I promise.
It's exactly what you said. Like, guys, we're just like you realistically. We've all been through this shit, and it's exactly what you said. Learning without the application of it gets you nowhere.
Right.
So please don't waste an hour of your life. We gave you these methods for a reason because they're what works for us, and believe it or not, they're most likely what's going to work for you too. So just please, because I like if it eventually, hopefully when the podcast blows up, we get rid of this whole fucking dog shit porn industry, and we create that tribe of superior men that we're trying to get to.
That's the goal.
So it starts with this, guys.
And think about it. We already came over the addiction, at least for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't have to be sitting here and doing this video. We don't. This is something that we don't struggle with as much, right? But we're here because we care.
Yeah.
We know this will help you. We know that this 1 hour might be so helpful to some of you guys that are still watching. And I mean, just like how Josh said, it's been 1 hour. And if somebody's still here listening to this, you want to change. And congrats to you, bro. And I promise you, if you take the steps, you will succeed.
Mm-hmm. Utilize these methods. Quote of the day.
Oh.
I can't see it. I'm sorry.
I got it. You can't even see from there.
Success means having the courage, determination, and the will to become the person you believe you were meant to be.
I did not have I don't know who wrote it, but
Josh Nikolaevs.
I did not.
The reason we chose this quote is, to me, I think the key word there is the will. It's the willpower that's gonna let you achieve all these methods and really utilize them to the fullest.
Yeah. And
is the person you're meant to be, does he jerk off?
Right.
Fuck no,
Probably
he
not.
doesn't. I don't give a
No,
matter.
probably
Does he watch
not.
porn, does he do
And
any
he
of that
wouldn't be
cancel
proud of
bullshit?
you doing it either. No
Not
way.
at all. Not at all. They're gonna be laughing at you. The same way he said. The shout out goes to Georgie Nataluri 1507. I wonder
this
who
name
that
sounds
is.
Hey, who's that?
I don't know who it is.
I don't know.
It's our
Love
boy
it, boys.
Georgie.
Heart emoji on YouTube. Georgie, I would
We
love
miss
to meet
you,
you
bro.
in person one time. So if you ever want to hop back,
Georgie's out there grinding in Georgia for judo.
I
Right
feel
now.
like we should get this comment on the podcast one time because I don't know who he is, but I feel like he would be a great fit.
Yeah, maybe.
What do we think?
Get him on the pod?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I say so.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll consider it. We'll consider it.
Comment down below and we'll get you on the pod too. The same way we're gonna get this nice young gentleman on here.
All right, guys.
That being said,
Fuck.
think big,
Think big, grow big.
Peace.